Hello, I'm Claire Smith and welcome to my channel. So today I've got a fragrance haul for you. I've bought 3 perfumes and I'd just like to give you a mini review of all 3 of them and tell you whether I think that they were worth my money. So if this kind of content interests you, I've got a playlist of fragrance hauls, and also please consider subscribing because I do lots and lots of perfume related content, and I also do a bit of perfume science. So if that kind of thing interests you, then please consider subscribing. So the first perfume that I'd like to talk about today is called Yes I Am, and it's by Cacharel. So this perfume came out in about 2018, I think, and there are now a couple of flankers in this same line, but this is the original pillar fragrance. And I just think the bottle is just super kitsch, isn't it? It's just so fun looking. I really like the lipstick aesthetic to this, and yeah, it's just sort of suggests that this fragrance is going to be fun. So I remember trying this fragrance in store maybe a couple of years ago when it first came out, and I really did like it, and I'm really not sure why I didn't buy it at the time, but I didn't. I had a vague recollection of what this fragrance smelled like, but I really couldn't remember very much about it. I just knew that I enjoyed it. So, you know, this was a safe blindish buy, not a blind buy. So what does this fragrance smell like? Well, it's a sweet, vanilla-y, milky fragrance with a little touch of spice. It's got a little bit of ginger in it, a little bit of cardamom. In the opening there's a lot of citrus, but that really does kind of quickly go. It's a very gentle citrus as well. It's not sharp at all. It's a very soft citrus opening, and then it sort of transitions more into cardamom and also a bit of licorice, but also the ginger lily, which I really smell as a very soft ginger. I think, yeah, in the dry down it's more about the caramel, the milk. I think I've heard this fragrance described as a raspberry milkshake, and I would kind of go along with that, but I would say that the raspberry for me is quite light. It's definitely there, there's something definitely there, but I wouldn't be able to pick it out as raspberry. I think if you like really milky, really caramel based fragrances, then I think you would enjoy this. So this fragrance really makes me think of when people at work make Arabic coffee with condensed milk with cardamom flavourings, and the cardamom and the condensed milk make me think of this fragrance. I think that it's nicely balanced. It's not so sweet that it's something that I don't enjoy, because I'm quite averse to something that's really sickly sweet or sugary. I much prefer something that's got a bit of spice behind it, and I think that this does have enough spice in this to balance out the sweetness. I think the cardamom and the licorice are absolutely crucial to whether this works or not, along with that citrus opening. I don't think it projects that much, and I do think it fades quite fast, but I do get occasional wafts of it when I'm wearing it at work, and I haven't had any compliments on this. I don't think other people can really smell it that much, because I think it is very much a skin scent after maybe the first hour or so. It is just a really fun fragrance. It feels very casual though. It's not something that massively projects. It's not something that's really loud. I think that it's quite a gentle fragrance really. So yeah, would I buy this fragrance again, having smelt it again? Yes, I would. Do I think this is good value? Yes, I do. I think it's really fun. I think it's something that it's not groundbreaking, but it's also, you know, pretty unexpected from Cacharel. I wouldn't have expected them to come out with a fragrance like this. So that's Yes I Am by Cacharel. So the second fragrance is actually a unisex fragrance, and that is Metal Wave by All Saints. So this one was part of the original collection, I think, of 5 fragrances from All Saints. I really like All Saints kind of aesthetic. I remember when they first came out and I was really surprised by, you know, their Singer sewing machines in their windows and their black, white and grey clothing, very monochrome, very dramatic clothing. So I think the fragrance from this collection that everybody thinks of is the Sunset Riot one. That one is meant to be the Baccarat Rouge 540 dupe. I did try that one in store because it was there and it had a tester. I can't say that I particularly enjoyed that one, but I really don't think that I am kind of a cloud Baccarat Rouge 540 kind of person. I find cloud not pleasant in the dry down, so I think maybe I'm just not one of those people who like that kind of fragrance. Although, you know, I haven't tried Baccarat Rouge 540, so maybe if I actually tried the original, maybe, you know, that would be a different story. So back to Metal Wave. So the name Metal Wave gives you kind of a lot of expectations, doesn't it? You think, is this fragrance going to be metallic? Wave, does that mean it's going to be aquatic? Does it mean it's going to be ozonic? you don't really know. It's a bit generic, really, and I think that's definitely intended. I think it sort of gives it more of a masculine vibe to this fragrance, really, isn't it? Metal Wave. I blind bought this fragrance. There wasn't a tester in store, and I remember looking up on my phone just to see what the votes were on for Grande, whether it was masculine or feminine leaning, and I remember it saying that it was more feminine leaning. So I felt kind of comforted because I don't like really masculine leaning scents. I mean, obviously, these are just ideals of masculine and feminine and what you like, but from what I generally enjoy, I don't like really masculine feeling fragrances. So All Saints have been a bit funny here. They've listed only 3 notes to this fragrance. So they've listed juniper, papyrus, and magnolia. And I wouldn't say any of those 3 really accurately describe how this fragrance smells. So when I initially spray this, I get more of the feeling of a pencil case, really. The feeling of freshly sharpened pencils in a pencil case. I know that some people don't like that smell of the pencil shavings, but I really do kind of enjoy it. I think it's really unisex in the beginning. So that pencil shaving smell is almost verging on a very light tobacco. It kind of moves into more of a lighter woody smell as it dries down. And then there's something that resembles a very light vanilla, not like a really gourmand, rich vanilla. It's a very gentle, woody vanilla. So yeah, I do feel like this fragrance is slightly more feminine, but I do still feel like it's entirely unisex. I don't think that it really leans massively feminine at all, this fragrance. Have been really surprised by this fragrance. It feels very casual. It feels like something that's a little bit edgy as well, because it's just something I haven't really smelt before. When I checked for Fragrantica for the smells alike column, which I absolutely love, by the way, I love looking at that, and looking at the suggestions, find it really useful. And I also find it quite surprising because quite often people will suggest things and you'll think, well, I know there's 2 fragrances and I don't think that smells like that. Or sometimes you'll think, yeah, that's bang on. That is really exactly what it smells like. But yeah, this one had votes for Eau Duelle by Diptyque. I think that was quite upvoted. I think people had also suggested Commodity Gold, and they'd also suggested Nirvana Bourbon, I think. I haven't smelled any of those, but yeah, I mean, I feel like this whole line from All Saints is just a massive dupe operation. So I wouldn't be surprised if this smelt very similar to some high-end fragrance, because I feel like that's what they've been trying to do, really. Do I like this fragrance? Yes, I do. Would I buy it again? Yes, I would. I think this is probably most surprising and the one that really will make me keep reaching for, because it's just so, it feels really relaxing. It's a clean t-shirt and a jeans kind of affair, this fragrance. It's nothing complicated, but it's just a really pleasant kind of, it feels like a new house or a new car kind of smell. It's very relaxing, very minimalist. So I don't know whether this fragrance is being discontinued, because when I bought it, it was only £10. So yeah, I don't know whether it's being discontinued or whether it was just being discontinued from that particular shop. But yeah, keep your eyes peeled, because if you see a good deal on these fragrances, I would really urge you to check out the All Saints range. And I would also say that Chantel Tiffany has a really good video where she ranks the fragrances that she has from the All Saints range. So also check out her video. I'll link it down below. So that's Metal Wave by All Saints. So the third fragrance is one that I actually bought for somebody else. I probably bought it for one of my friends, maybe, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago. And I remembered really liking it in store, but then just thinking, no, I can't buy a bottle for me as well as my friend. That's just weird. So I ended up not buying it, but then I've been thinking about it ever since. And I was just reminded of it the other day. I just saw it online and I thought, do you know what? I'm just going to get it because I remembered really liking it. So this is Lovestruck Floral Rush by Vera Wang, and it comes in this crazy bottle with this crazy lid. So I really love purple, and this bottle just makes me think of Avril Lavigne. I don't know what it is about this bottle and this kind of colour, but yeah, I just think of stroppy teenagers and dark eye makeup. So this fragrance came out in 2012, and it's the flanker of the Lovestruck fragrance that came out in 2011. I think both of them are discontinued, but you can get them really readily online. I remembered really not liking the pink Lovestruck fragrance, but I do really love this one. So this one is supposed to have the main note of champagne. I don't really get champagne, but I don't think I'd really know exactly what champagne would smell like in a fragrance. I wouldn't say that this fragrance smells fizzy, which I would expect with champagne. I would say this fragrance is more of an aquatic, ozonic kind of scent. It very much reminds me of when you've been swimming at a beach and you open your beach bag and you're about to do your washing with your towel. It's how your towel smells when it's been on the sandy beach and also you've been in the sea. It's kind of got that salty vibe to it. I know that it shouldn't do, like given the notes that this fragrance has, but that's really what I smell in the dry down. So the initial blast of this fragrance is all about the pink pepper, which is a note that I really love as well. I also get just kind of a generic floral feeling from this fragrance in the opening. And then in the dry down, it sort of turns more into watery floral. So it turns into freesia, but also passion flower. And the passion flower to me smells more like a very watery passion fruit. The dry down is more of a musky, fresh, ozonic kind of feeling fragrance. I think if you really like really sharp fragrances, you'd enjoy this. I think this is definitely not a crowd pleasing scent. So this fragrance is meant to evoke the feeling of initial love. So the Lovestruck range was constructed around the idea of Romeo and Juliet, and Lovestruck Floral Rush is about the first rush of love. It's about that kind of feeling, you know, where you get where you've got butterflies in your tummy when you see someone because it's so exciting. I get that this does feel like a rush kind of fragrance. It's got that kind of ozonic feel of, you know, sparky feel to it. This fragrance reminded me a little bit of another one in my collection. So it reminded me of Marc Jacobs Eau Decadent. Marc Jacobs Eau Decadent is very different to this one because Marc Jacobs has a note of blackcurrant, and that really lends it quite a fruity, more of a fruity vibe, whereas this one, it doesn't have any citrus listed, but to me this smells more like a very citrusy fragrance. And maybe that's a champagne, maybe that's what I'm missing in this fragrance. So am I glad I bought this one? Yes, I am. Do I think it's a bargain for the price? Yes, I do. I think this one is more expensive than the pink one, I think because it was discontinued earlier than the pink one. But I don't think this fragrance is expensive at all. I think you can easily find one of the smaller bottles for under £20. I bought this one second hand, and this is a 50ml bottle. You get a different lid if you get a 30ml bottle. Do I think it's kitsch? Yes. Do I still love it? Yes. So that's Lovestruck Floral Rush by Vera Wang, a very unexpected scent from the notes. So out of these three fragrances, what do I think of them? Well, I think this one is the most crowd pleasing. I think this one is probably the most interesting. It's definitely something that I just don't have anything like this fragrance in my collection. And I think this one is just sort of an everyday casual fragrance. So I think I'm going to get a lot of wear out of all three of these. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please press the like button and please consider subscribing if you haven't done already, because I do loads and loads of fragrance related content. And if you're already subscribed, then thank you so much for returning. I really appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.